from Creative Roots. Creative Roots was created to support and serve community, not just the community directly here in Portugal, but the global community. We are here to serve you. We are showing up to bridge between the separation, to remind us of who you were before the world told you who to be. We're showing up for all people, all planets, and we're showing up from a place of love to remind you who you were before the world tried to tell you who to be. It's so important that we recognize that we are all in it together. And no matter what we are experiencing as we experience life, that there is so much that goes on. There's so many changes, so many things to navigate in this life, that through coming together as an act of service to actually show up, we're able to support one another soul to soul and grow and evolve together to create the world that we wish to be living in, to survive in, to create in. This world, this life can feel so painful when we're surrounded by such losses and the things that we're witnessing on the television, across social media, as we look to what's happening here in Portugal and right across the world. What we'll find is that it's this grief that helps us join together, and it's the common ground that we all stand on, because we are all grieving in some way. There is, in life, there is these times and these places and these spaces where change comes at us, and as we are experiencing the changes, as things transition from one stage to the next, we are forced to sit and navigate the death of things that we thought would be, sometimes that will be much, they're much longer than what we are. You know, when we look at the fires that have torn through villages, that have gone through communities and left very little standing, and we think, why? Like, and how do we get through this? And we look at all these people that are standing and working and coming together as a community to serve the community. Hello, Servan. So we're recognizing the importance of the interconnectedness of things. We're noticing how important it is to serve one another, to return to the roots of who we are, and remember that we are here to serve each other. So today's service is specifically about the grief that we all carry, because I know at times like this, we're thinking, well, what do we do? And people feel obliged to stay quiet, to stay silent, and to not notice or to hide away their grief and how they feel. Hi, Balu Mali. It's not the time. We don't need to put on a brave face. And this is why Creative Roots is here to serve you, to allow you to and to gift you a space so that you can come together and connect, and we can breathe together again. Grief is, you know, I wrote a book called Meeting Your Grief, and grief is this incredible thing. It's like an umbrella term, really. It's almost every emotion under the sun can be associated with grief. And grief is the process of accepting what is. And when I say we're accepting what is, I'm not saying that we ignore it. I'm not saying we push it away and say, well, it is how it is. That is not the way to get through this. We can say, well, why did it happen? Why me? Why is there this suffering? And why did bad things happen? And we can look at all the reasons why bad things happen. But the truth is, we can get caught up in toxic positivity, trying to make everything look all right when actually it's not. And by acknowledging that sometimes it's okay, in fact, most of the time and all of the time, it's okay to just be with something as it is and witness that and be with the suffering and know that this too shall pass, not in some kind of toxic positivity way. We're not trying to polish a turd here. No, that is not necessary. The truth is, can we allow what is? Can we allow things to be as they are without trying to push them or manipulate them in any kind of way, and simply allow the feelings to be there and be present with what is, accepting, not just simply going, oh yes, well it is as it is, making it okay. Hey, Roblox. But to recognize and allow that actually these feelings are here and there's something that we're experiencing inside us. Hey, Rev 76. So as we recognize our grief or the experiences, the feelings and emotions and sensations inside our bodies, and we're just allowing them to just be as they are. And I get it. Some things are incredibly difficult to be with. Some things are incredibly difficult to sit with. And at these times, we need each other to be and to hold that space for us so we can allow it to be. And we can do this through a practice called soft belly. I mean, last week we looked into a thing called grace, and grace is how we go to some time and some place where we're able to meet the grace of the moment, no matter how painful it is, with grace and stay open with our heart. So when we're able to stay open with our heart, we're able to open up to with love to one another. Good morning, Lisa. It's so important that we can be present with someone else's suffering and meet them with love, because love is so important. It's the missing something. And I'm not talking about that soppy love where we're just like, yeah, everything's all right, blah, blah, blah. I mean that genuine sitting with someone who's suffering and saying, actually, I see you. Lisa, I see you. Roblox, I see you. And I am here. And I'm here to listen. And I'm here to witness you. And I'm here to acknowledge your pain and your suffering. And be with you through that, whatever that looks like. And if that means we're sitting in a room somewhere and I'm listening to you and witnessing those tears, that's absolutely fine. If we're just sitting in silence, that's absolutely fine. And if you're angry, then that is also a part of it, and that too belongs. Sometimes it's so important to not push our fears away, not push our angers away, because all of it is valid. All of it is so important. So I'm not here to deny anything or push anything away. I'm here to say this too belongs. And as we did in last week's service, we experienced it, and I shared the process of grace. This week, I would like to share a thing called soft belly. And soft belly is just learning to soften to whatever is present. And it's just allowing ourselves to be present without judgment and just be with whatever is. And so as we just take a breath together and then let it go, as we're breathing in, our body's expanding. And usually at times of stress, our bodies contract. Our bodies, in times of fear, in times of pain, our bodies, we clench, we withdraw because it's part of our protection mechanism. But when we can breathe in and just allow ourselves to be there, we're just allowing our bodies to just open up with the breath, just that tiny little bit, to just be. And it's not about forcing the breath. We're not forcing ourselves to breathe in and pushing our bodies out. No, it's just a gentle process where we recognize we can take a breath. We don't have to bring too much breath in, but to breathe in and to notice that gentle expansion of the body. Now, what you possibly may notice is as you breathe in, maybe it only stays in the chest. And if it only stays in the chest, that's very common for people who are experiencing a lot of grief and a lot of trauma, because our bodies tense up and we hold our grief in the body, and we often hold our grief in the belly. So when we're able to breathe in, if we can try to just gently allow our body to expand, breathing in to our rib cage, maybe breathing just a bit deeper than our rib cage. Play with it a bit. See if we can breathe in and allow the breath to open ourselves up, to softening just a little bit. And that breath allows us to be present. That breath allows us to just soften to the moment and just allow whatever it is to be there. So we'll just take another moment of breathing together, breathing, softening, just a little, and expanding. And if we can remember to breathe and expand just that little tiny bit, no matter what, it'll bring us back to that safe space that we hold inside us, and that place from which we can get our strength and our clarity. And from that moment of strength and clarity, we get to move forward again in a much more aware state of mind. We get to allow whatever it is to show up and meet ourselves with compassion. It's a way of showing ourselves mercy. At times, sometimes that is one of the hardest things to do, is meeting ourselves with mercy. But if we can just come back into being and meet ourselves with the mercy in the moment, we're enabling ourselves, we're empowering ourselves to get through whatever's showing up for us in life. And I know that life can be really, really hard and really challenging. And it doesn't feel that it's all right that it does that. And it doesn't feel all right to have so much pain. And it doesn't feel all right to experience loss. It simply doesn't. But that it's okay to know that it's okay to not feel okay. And it's okay to breathe into the anger, and it's okay to breathe into the frustration, and it's okay to just be with whatever it is. It's okay to be with tears falling down your face and struggling to breathe, and just trying to just come back to yourself and remember this too shall pass, and allowing whatever is in that moment. So we're returning to acceptance, allowing what is, very present, ever present, without judgment. Now, here at Creative Roots, we do a lot of things with, I particularly specialise in grief and trauma. So I've spent many years as a Samaritan serving people who are contemplating taking their lives, and I've done that since 2014. So 11 years now that I've been serving people. Hi, Snifford the goat. I've been serving the community, the global community, in incredible times of suffering. And I, as a death doula, I've trained as a death doula. I've been able to sit with people through many times where people are navigating change following health crisis and diagnosis and prognosis and these kind of things. And I'm able to do that through so much working and being and experiencing life with so much training and so much personal experience of my own cancer journey and things like that, and times where I personally have lost everything, including my home. So these times have brought me to serve now from a true heart space and of compassion, where I can understand. And this week, I would like to just share, Tom, my mum died of cancer. I'm sorry, Tom. And thank you so much for being brave enough to share that with us today. 65 years young. Yes, stay blessed. The thing is, when people go, it can appear that they die too soon, and we think, why? And we experience so much as carers. When we care for people in our lives, we experience so much as relatives, and what we bear witness to and the support we can get following this, it can really make a difference of how we're able to navigate our own grief. Grief is something that it's a kind of club that the grief club, the club no one really wants to join, but we all end up being part of it. And it's the ground that we're all standing on. We're all linked, we're all connected through grief. And when we're able to acknowledge, hi Alan, when we're able to acknowledge each other's suffering, yeah, even when death is inevitable, and as it is, every single one of us knows at some point we're going to die. And even when death is inevitable, it still hurts. And we still have grief. And grief can look so different at so many times for so many people. And it's really important to acknowledge and witness these truths, that grief can look and show up differently for many of us, and it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to feel no matter what. You know, it's okay for the people who have been abused to miss their abusers. It's okay to grieve the relationship they had when they turned into carers rather than fathers and daughters and relatives. And these things need to be witnessed. These things need to be acknowledged. Are my parents alive? My father disappeared many years ago. My mother just survived a cancer battle after a 13-hour operation, but she has and is living with the after effects of chemotherapy and how that affects the body following such a thing. It's such a strange suffering, because we get to witness people who make the transition, and we get to witness a friend of mine who we met on our own cancer journeys, and she had the chemo, and the chemo has really, really affected her body in incredible ways, which have meant that she currently can't walk and has had to have many operations to try and sort things out, because the chemo destroyed the bones in her pelvis, and things have been having to be done to put her right. And she's in her 40s. So we all have all these different forms of grief and living experience, for whether it's through illness or something else like our own personal health journeys, or sometimes it's the grieving of our jobs, sometimes it's the loss of our houses or the way of life that we had. My good friend, I'm going to give mention here to Andrea and Dal this morning. Andrea has just supported Dal on his transition for after 17 years of being together with her beloved pet Dal. 17 years is a very long time, and we can be so close to our pets. And you never really saw them without each other. You know, I got time to be with Andrea and time to be with Del, and I was honoured to support them over this last week. And now it's that time where it's acknowledging what life's like after the change, after the Del's now passed over the Rainbow Bridge, and now we have a very quiet house. And this is what happens when people and pets pass. This is what happens when we sit with a huge change, and it's being able to be with that. So today I'm going to share a prayer which has been shared with me to share with the community, the global community today, that was written with one of our team, Chimpy, and a lady whose mum has transitioned this week. And it's a beautiful prayer about grief. So it's not about religion, Tom. A prayer is not religious. Here at Creative Roots, we're not religious. We believe in existence. For me, nature is my church. And I believe in life. And I believe within life there is an awareness and a presence that's not absence. And there's many names for it. So when with me and becoming a reverend of metaphysics, hi Marley, I experienced Buddhism. So I've trained in different forms of Buddhism. I've looked into Wicca. I've looked into paganism. I've done some studying with indigenous people in America who came, I'm just trying to think, it was the Lakota tribe. I've also experienced being brought up, raised as a Christian. A lot of that didn't resonate with me. And I always was looking for something, and I wasn't sure what it was. And I found that a lot of the answers are in quantum science, believe it or not. Um, so I'm very, very much been into science and the way of things, and I love. Is it true you emailed for 40 years? No, I don't know what that quite means, but if I take it literally, I can't have emailed for 40 years because I don't think email's been around that long. Maybe it has. I don't know. But smoking, no, I smoked for about 20 years. So I'm trying to think what I was saying. I'm saying about prayer, and prayer is not religious. It's not a begging, it's not a beseeching, it's not a sending out a request, although it can be if you want it to be. Prayer is a form of communication. It can be between you and yourself, you and your higher self, so the egoic self and the higher self. It could be you just talking to the the cosmos. It could be you speaking with nature, and connecting with the trees or the elements. So depending on what your belief system is, prayer is something where we're connecting with something that is our higher self or a higher something that is in existence. So when I'm coming into look now, this prayer that was shared with us, you collect crystals, that's awesome. They're very powerful. Chimpy has shared this prayer with this beautiful woman whose mother's transition this week. So this has been written as part of her grieving process. And I feel honoured that they've agreed, or I didn't ask, but they chose to share it with us, our community. And for having someone in such fresh grief, I think that is really suitable and can serve highest good, because as a community we're all grieving, and the fresh grief that we're experiencing across Portugal right now, and the fresh grief from those whose parents and pets have transitioned, or their homes have now gone and they have what they stood up in. This is the time when something that comes from the heart, such as this, transition to what? That's a beautiful question, and I'd like to explore that. Maybe in next week's service, I could utilize that, and I'll make a note, and I will create next week's service on looking at transitioning, because that is a beautiful. Thank you for that inspiration, Tom. I really appreciate that. So we're gonna bring this prayer into being and just share, because some of these words might resonate and some of it won't. But when we look at quantum science, which is kind of where I look at how I base my stuff, my beliefs, I recognize there's something in it when you look and you see that everything is in this void. Deepak Chopra speaks of it, Bruce Lipton speaks of it, so we can find some amazing scientists out there. So I'm going to speak to things on that level next Sunday. And today now, if you'd like to join me as I share these words, with gratitude. I begin in gratitude. Thank you, Spirit, for the breath in my body, the love I have known, the sacred journey that has brought me to this moment. I give thanks for the gift of feeling and for the depth of my heart that makes grief possible. I recognize the one infinite presence, the source of all that is. This presence is love itself. It's whole, unchanging, and ever present. It is the unbroken wholeness from which all life springs. I know I am one with this presence, the same love that created galaxies that flows through me now. And in this truth, there is no real separation, not from spirit, not from those I love. We are one life, one heart, and forever connected. I affirm that grief is the echo of love, a holy reminder of the bonds that cannot be broken. I allow its waves to move through me, transforming into compassion, tenderness, and understanding. And I release the illusion of loss, resting in the eternal truth. All is held, all is one, all is whole. And I give thanks for the healing already unfolding in my heart. I give thanks for the comfort of Spirit's presence, for the memories that bless me, and for the deepening of compassion within me. I am grateful for the courage to feel, to honour, and to be transformed. I release these words to divine law, knowing they are fulfilled even now. I let go, I trust, and I open to the peace that transcends all understanding. And so it is. Aho, Ashe, and Amen. So I want to thank again Chimpy and that beautiful woman. My thoughts are with you now. My thoughts also go out to all of those who have been sitting with such huge change and such huge suffering, who have lost so much. I see you, and I am here to serve you. And if there's anything that we as a team can do at Creative Roots, you please do contact us. We are here for you. We are here to support you, our global community. And to support us, you're welcome to make Lord donations if you are able. And that's a link in the description. But we make ourselves accessible to all, always, in all ways. So there is grief counselling, there is sessions available for people, and people can contribute if they are able, and if they're not able, then the service and things is there for them anyway, because that is an ethical way to serve the community. So we're all sharing what we have, we're all sharing our resources, we're all sharing the love. And that's the way we like to do it here at Creative Roots. And so today we're going to finish the service with a blessing, not just for today, but for every day. May you have mercy on yourself. May you hold your grief gently. May you soften just a little more in every way. And may the waves of grief grow with compassion as you move through today and every day. I'm ending now on a quote from Ghalib. When after heavy rain the storm clouds disperse, is it not true that they've wiped themselves clear to the end? Much love, folks. I'll be here next week on Sunday and on Saturday evenings, British time, Portuguese time, Saturday evenings. We hold that community circle where you can come and rest and recharge and ask questions or sit in silence. It's completely accessible to all. The link for the Zoom room is in our bio. So you click on the link tree and it will take you straight to the Zoom room. and that's where we're there to serve and meet you every Saturday. So big loves. Like I say, we're always accessible to everyone in all ways, always. So here to serve. Much love, and I will be explaining or exploring transitions and transitioning next week. Thank you, Tom. Take care now.